Hi, hello, welcome back to our high school. Again, I am back in our high school with a new topic. How are you all? How things doing? I'm very fine. I hope you are also doing very well. Successfully, we have completed our first chapter, nutrition. Today onwards, we are stepping into a new topic that is respiration, the energy releasing system. In the previous chapter on nutrition, we have discussed that how our body draws out nutrients from the food taken in. Using our food to carry out life process is key to living organisms in both, that is multicellular and unicellular. Each and every cell of our body need food to carry out its functions properly. The food provides energy only after breaking down in the process of respiration. Thus, respiration leads to a final utilization of food. That means whatever the food we are taking, that should break down. So, the breaking down system is respiration. That's why we are calling this process as energy releasing system. After breaking down, then only the food will release energy. So, this process happens during respiration. Hence, we can call the respiration process is a energy releasing system. In the nutrition, it's just intake of nutrients. That's it. Immediately after taking food, our body does not provide any energy. Only after breaking down, then only the food releases energy. That breaking down process is nothing but respiration. Hence, it is energy releasing system. Okay, let's enter into the topic. Respiration. The word came into exist in the 14th century. Respiration is a word obtained from a Latin word respire. What is that word? Respire, which means to breathe. Which means to breathe. Okay, in those days, people believe that respiration is a word which is related to medicine. That means it is a medical term which refers what it refers, the medical term. What is this medical term? Respiration. So this respiration is a medical term and which refers a process involving passage of air and production of body heat. That means in those days, what are those days? In the 14th century, people believed that respiration is a medical term which refers to a process when involving various steps and which produces a body heat. That's it. They don't know much more about respiration. That's it. But people believe that there is some relationship between the production of body heat and as well as breathing in of oxygen and breathe out of carbon dioxide. That's it. They don't know much more about it. But it was not till 18th century. In the 18th century, Lavoisier and Priestley did a comprehensive work on properties of gases and their exchange and as well as respiration. Lavoisier and Priestley, in which century? It's the 18th century. But from 14th century onwards, 18th century, what people believe that respiration means it is a medical term. The common people, they don't know much information about that one. So this medical term represents that what it refers, a process involving passage of air. Passage of air means breathe in and breathe out and production of body heat. So that means respiration means people believed that these two words only. Okay, but after 18th century, Lavoisier and Priestley, these two scientists worked on properties of gases and as well as their exchange and in respiration. They worked on these three areas. We have studied about Priestley in the nutrition chapter, that is bell jar. Bell jar experiments we know, no? In this class, we are going to discuss about Lavoisier and his experiments. Let us see. Lavoisier, in his early experiments, he burnt charcoal in a bell jar which is kept over a water trough. While burning charcoal, some gas is evolved. So he believed that Lavoisier believed that gas is a fixed air. That gas is a fixed air. What is a fixed air? In those days, people believed that a fixed air is nothing but carbon dioxide. That means fixed air is known as CO2 or CO2 is known as fixed air in those days. but people don't know that is a carbon dioxide. So they given a name that is a fixed air. Okay, when charcoal is burning, some fixed air is liberating. In the next series of experiments, he burnt phosphorus in the bell jar. When the phosphorus is burning, he believed that there is something helpful for the burning of phosphorus. But what is that? He believed that there is something. What is that? He don't know. But he predicted that that may not water vapor, but it may be air itself or elastic fluid. That it may be air itself or elastic fluid. So this air itself or maybe elastic fluid, these two are helping for the burning process of phosphorus, but not the water vapor. Okay, who hypothesized this? This is Lavoisier. According to him, elastic fluid. What is elastic fluid? That elastic fluid is helpful for breathing process and as well as helpful for burning. You people say, which gas is helpful for burning? Which gas is helpful for breathing? Yes, exactly. That is oxygen. It is nothing but oxygen. Okay. So, in those days, people call the oxygen as vitiated air. Vitiated air. Okay. So, what is vitiated air? Oxygen. What is a fixed air? That is CO2. Do remember these two words. People believed that in the 18th century, fixed air means carbon dioxide, vitiated air means oxygen. In those days, they didn't named till at that time. Okay, so what is his early experiment? In his early experiment, he burned charcoal. In that time, he observed that some gas is evolved. That gas is a fixed air. That is nothing but carbon dioxide. And later on, he burnt phosphorus. There is something is helping for burning of phosphorus, but that is not exactly water vapor. That may be air itself or elastic fluid. What is that elastic fluid? Which is helpful for breathing and which is helpful for burning. It is nothing but oxygen. In those days, what people call the oxygen? It is vitiated air. Okay. And next, he observed a profound difference between the gas which is liberated during combustion of metals and as well as which had served for breathing. Okay, see, he observed a profound difference between what the gas which is liberated during metals. Which gas released during combustion of metals? Yes, that is carbon dioxide. And that had served for breathing. Who will serve for breathing? Yes, it is nothing but oxygen. That means he observed a profound difference between carbon dioxide and oxygen. Okay, tell me what people call carbon dioxide and oxygen in those days? Yes, fixed air means carbon dioxide. Vitiated air means oxygen. Okay, and later on he deduced that there are two processes involved in the process of respiration. Okay, but of course he knew only one, but he don't know the other. But of course later on some other scientists worked on that. They identified. That's why we are studying here. Okay, that's different matter. However, he started working over on it, right? And next one is he drew some logical conclusions on gases exchange in lungs, which means, see, whenever we breathe, whatever we are breathing, after going into lungs, that gas is converting into chalky acid air. What is chalky acid air? The gas which is released during charcoal, that is nothing but carbon dioxide. Okay, what we breathe? Oxygen. So whenever we breathe oxygen after going into lungs, it is converting into carbon dioxide. That means there is exchange of gases is taking place inside the lungs. So because of all his experiments, because of all his observations, he showed a path to several other scientists to work more on the process of respiration. Once again, let us see. Lavoisier, in his early experiments, he conducted experiment with charcoal, and in that process, he observed fixed air. Fixed air is nothing but carbon dioxide. And later on, his experiments with phosphorus. So there is something is helpful for burning of phosphorus. That may be air itself or maybe elastic fluid, which helps for burning and which helps for breathing. And next one, he observed a profound difference between carbon dioxide and oxygen, and he deduced two processes involved in the process of respiration, and he drew logical conclusions on gas exchange in lungs. So because of all these things, he showed a path to other scientists. One of such scientists is John Draper. In the 19th century, he is a renowned chemist. He worked on respiration and he proposed a definition on this in the textbook of human physiology. What is that? The textbook of human physiology. The textbook of human physiology written by John Draper. According to him, the chief materials which a living being receives are matter that can be burnt. See, the chief materials which a living being receives are matter that can be burnt, water and oxygen gas. Whatever the living beings receives, that it can be burnt, or that is water and that is oxygen gas. So who will burnt here? Burning process in the sense food. The food should break down in the process of respiration, no? So the food burning process, that is respiration. So whatever living beings receives, that is food, water and oxygen gas. And out of the action of these upon one another, out of the action one upon the other, so all these things, the food, water, oxygen gas, these three worked on each other. All the physical phenomena of its life arise. So whenever this food, oxygen, water work together, based on this, the physical phenomena of life arises. See, what the body expels out is water. So whenever utilizing of these food, water and oxygen, some life arises, no? So after that, what the body expels out, when utilizing of all these, some waste should be expelled out, no? So that is water, oxide of carbon in the sense, that is carbon dioxide, oxide of carbon in the sense carbon dioxide, phosphorus, sulfur and others. After utilizing food, water and oxygen, some energy produces, and after production of energy, some waste should expel out. So that waste contains water, carbon dioxide, phosphorus, sulfur and others. Okay, so who said this? John Draper. So this John Draper, where it published the textbook of human physiology. Who written the textbook of human physiology? John Draper. Thus, we can see the role of various components and elements in the process of respiration until 19th century. The events involved in that are not clearly explained, but however, people believe that there is something relationship between the body temperature and the breathing of gases. So between that there is something relationship, but more than that they don't know anything. Now let us study the various events or steps involved in the process of respiration. Let us figure it out. See, actually there are no strict demarcations in the process of respiration, but however it is a very complex process which has several biochemical and physical process which releases energy to the body. But for general understanding, we should go on this. Okay, let's enter into the various events and steps involved in the process of respiration. These are the various steps involved in the process of respiration. Okay, let us see each and every step and we shall discuss each and every area. The first thing is, the first step of this area is the breathing. Generally breathing, what we breathe? Oxygen. And what we breathe out, that is carbon dioxide. The respiratory system starts with the nostrils. So from the nostrils onwards, we breathe in air. So in the breathing process, what will happen? We breathe oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide into and out of lungs. So what into oxygen, what out, that is carbon dioxide. And later on, gases exchange at lungs level. So after inhaling the air, where it will go? It will enter into the lungs now. So inside the lungs, there are several minute sac-like structures will be present. So those minute sac-like structures are called as alveoli. Okay, so whenever we breathe in, directly it will go to lungs now. So inside the lungs, the gas, that oxygen will enter into the alveoli, and alveoli onwards, blood. Okay, so this will happen at a lungs level, and after that, gas transport by blood. Gas transport by blood. So here we discussed now, from the lungs, air enter into alveoli, alveoli to blood. So here, after entering into blood, so generally this sac-like structures, alveoli covered with a large and a thin network of blood capillaries. Okay, so from there onwards, transport of oxygen between blood capillaries to cell and vice versa. That means, so the blood capillaries take in oxygen and release into blood. At the same time, the CO2 from the cells enter into blood, and again it return back to lungs, from there onwards nostrils, and it expelled out. It's a vice versa passage. And the next one, gases exchange at a tissue level, and after entering into the cells, it should reaches to particular tissues. Tissue means a group of cells. One or more cells together makes a tissue. We have studied in 9th class now. So here, from here onwards, tissue level, that means oxygen enter into blood to cells, and the same time carbon dioxide cells to blood. That means it reversely come back. So at the time there will be a exchange of gases. So oxygen enter into blood, blood to cells, cells to tissues. At the same time, from the tissues, carbon dioxide enter into cells, cells to blood, blood to lungs, lungs to nostrils, and expelled out. Okay, and the next final level is cellular respiration. So from here onwards, from the nostrils onwards, oxygen enter into cells and tissues. After entering into cells, it should be utilized. So for what purpose it should utilize? For the production of energy purpose. Okay, so that purpose should be fulfilled, no? So here at cellular level, the respiration takes place. What is that area? Cell. There, using of oxygen and produce energy and CO2 and water. Okay, so at the cellular level, the oxygen should be utilized by the cells. So in the nutrition process, the food enters into blood now, from the small intestine, finger-like projections, villi. So from the villi, the digested food enter into blood, isn't it now? So in the same way, from the respiratory system, the oxygen enters into blood. Okay, so there at the cellular level, this oxygen and blood should combine each other and makes energy and releases carbon dioxide. In the same way, the carbon dioxide comes back in the same pathway reversely. Okay, so these are the various steps involved in respiration. These are events which are helpful for better and simple understanding process. That's all for today. Hope you understand well this topic. In the next class, we will back with a new topic which is related to the respiration for better understanding. If you like the video, please share this video, and if you do not subscribe still now, please subscribe and press bell icon. Then you will subscribe the channel so that you will get much more videos. Thank you.